Welcome everyone to another episode of Trek Talk with Tech and Kirk. I'm TechMan16.
And I'm Strange Kirk.
Red alert! Shields up! Hide your miners, hide your kids, hide the chocolate, but bring out your warships. We've got the Joker with us. Joker, how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you guys?
We're good, man. Thanks for asking. Thanks for taking the time to come talk to us today. I think this is going to be a fun little interview that we're going to have. Let's start off with kind of our basic questions. How did you get into Star Trek? What's your favorite show? And what's your favorite character?
Um, I I I have a few favorite characters. Well, I first started watching Captain Kirk on Star Trek, and I was sort of like growing up. I can only watch so many like reruns, and then I was like, wow, why don't they make new shows? And then they started with um other shows like Voyager
Next
and
generation.
yeah, Generation, Deep Space Nine. So I was like, yeah. Then they started with the movies. So I thought, oh, they're picking it up. They're pushing Star Trek again. So it got even more interesting, with better ships, the better visual effects and stuff. So Kirk would be uh uh one of my favorite characters, Picard. Um in Deep Space Nine, Benjamin Sisko.
So you just like the captains. You like to be in charge. That's why you're the admiral, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, they they're the adventures with them really, and then everybody else I guess follows with their own, you know. So and then I was on Facebook and I saw the advertisement. I was like, what? Really? I didn't even know.
You're talking about the Star Trek mobile game, the Fleet Command.
Right, right. So
Going back to Star Trek for a little bit, the TV show. So what would you say is your favorite series?
um well, for me I think it's Deep Space Nine.
Really? And why do you say that?
Well, before because I don't know, I just like the story. I like the whole story with um the Cardassians and how they just pillaged what's the planet?
Bajor.
Bajor, right? And I like that storyline. It reminds me like of the Germans in World War II, you know, and how they had to fight, and it's like it's a bunch of stories mixed in one because then it's sort of like when the Major Nerys was fighting against them, and that militia was like the French resistance, fighting the Germans. So it was interesting, you know. And then the whole concept leading to the Dominion Wars, and then you have the Cardassians, and then boom, the Romulans pop out with their ships, and then the Klingons being the Klingons, drunk and ready to kill. So it was good. And then of course at the end you have the mighty Federation with their ships just warping in to save the day.
You were really kind of into the war aspect of things, where
Yeah.
where the major powers had to go to war in order to protect what they had or to fight for something better, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair. That's fair. So, did you enjoy the new movies?
Yes, I did. I did. My only thing about it is, I just wish they kept up or they throw another one out there. They follow through with some kind of sequence like Star Wars, make a 1, 2, and 3 or whatever. Keep the storyline moving.
I see. I see what you mean. So okay, going back to Fleet Command, you found it on, would you say on Facebook?
On Facebook. Yeah, I was strolling down looking at everybody's business like everybody does. And boom, yeah, and it was there. And I was like, it caught my breath. And I said, click, install. And that was it. Game on.
So when did you start playing? How long ago?
I would say, I, I think in August would make a year. So I think it was August of 20. 19.
Okay, so you've been playing for about a year. And
Yes.
how was the interactions when you first started playing? I mean,
Well,
tell us a little bit about the history. 'Cause it looks different now than it was back then.
yeah, well, when I started, um, first of all, I'm not the type to just jump in. So I did my little missions to get out of that little level, when you can take your base and move it away from the lower like level systems.
Yeah.
And then while I was doing that, I was monitoring game chat, Galaxy chat, and I was seeing um alliance groups like Prick and Cunt and Super Troopers and Dirt and a couple of others. I can't remember off the top. It was so long ago, and they changed their names so much. And I was just watching the people and hearing what they were saying, bickering back and forth. So I was like, I don't like that guy. Just by I was already like envisioning villains and guys that I would fight for if I was to join, based on how they were interacting. And it came
People interacted in a way that you would fight for.
right, right. That first of all, I'm a villain, obviously. So I was going more for the villain type, the more how you, yeah, I guess the more villain type, the more like, nah, shut up, we're gonna do it this way. And for me, it came down to three alliances. It was Prick, it was I think Cunt or Click. It was Click. Not, I'm sorry, excuse me. It was Prick, Click. Yeah, I said that. It's funny because I said that word and my wife looked at me like, "Arr." I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
Hey.
Yeah, he hates that word. Almost got beat up right here in the podcast. And it was Dirt. And at the very end, I choose Dirt. And when I joined, well, actually, a friend of mine's joined. He said, I was thinking about it. And then a friend of mine's, he's not even playing anymore. He was like, hey, I joined Dirt. You come over here, blah, 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 with me. I said, okay. And he talked to Bane. Bane invited me in, and that was it. From there on, I was a soldier, 100%.
So how do you, or what about the villain aspect appeals to you?
I guess what appealed to me was the smack talk. You know, I was like, oh yeah, it entices me. It's like watching WWF. I mean WWE. And they smack talk, and it's like, oh, and then they start you know battling.
Oh, so kind of like the heel aspect when the Rock was part of the corporation, he just like talks back to anybody who wants to challenge him.
Right. And the hit and go. If you're a good guy, you can't hit and go. You got to stand there, whether you're and be brave and take the bullet at the end. But the villain can hit and run. I just like that aspect, you know. So
So you joined Dirt with Bane, and
yes,
did, when did you meet Chef? Was it when you got into Dirt?
yes. I think I was there before. I think he came a little bit later, maybe a month or two,
Let
I
me let,
believe.
let me interject real quick because I do have a question. Before
Yes.
joining Dirt, let me rephrase that. When you joined Dirt, did your play style change at all, or were you always kind of just like, forget ROE, I'm going to do what I want to do?
No, I knew when I pressed install, I knew that I was gonna be a rebel. So
Okay.
in other words, I said from right there when I saw the app, I said, "Oh man, I'm gonna get these warships and cause hell and just start killing."
I guess that's you got to respect a guy for that because most people, like for example, I don't know about you, Kirk, but I started playing this game after Timelines. Timelines is more of a solitary game. I was thinking, oh, this is kind of a solitary game. I didn't realize the dynamic until way later.
I did. Yeah, I think for me, just before we continue on, obviously it's not all about us today, but For me, my gameplay changed a lot when I actually got into the bigger alliances because at first I didn't know anything about ROE. When you're lower level, and you're below 20 and you're not playing that long, you just assume exactly how the game was designed. Hey, I need that node and that guy's on it and my ship's stronger than him, so I'm going to blow his up and take that node. You don't know anything about the rules that the people have come up with to govern the game. So it changed for me a lot because I guess you could say I was a bit of kind of like dirt. If I wanted it, I took it. If your warship was floating and I could blow it up, I'd do it.
Yep.
So it changed for me when I started playing by ROE, when I started getting into the bigger groups, because I was like, this is news to me. Why can't I hit that ship? There's an attack button. Yeah, but we don't do that here. And so it took me a little bit of time to adjust, but I digress. Go ahead, Tech.
Yeah, no. Joker, back to you. You like being the villain, and
Yeah.
when did you start learning about kind of the rules of the galaxy, if you will?
When everybody started bitching and PMing me. I learned the hard way with the FUs and die. And I mean, there was even people mentioning my ancestors from the first one, like, go to hell. I'm like, wow. I mean, people are really passionate on this game.
Is that the word? Is that the? I would say a little too emotionally invested.
Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. It's like, I guess it's the same reaction when when homeowners have a house and they don't want nobody on their lawn, and even if you're like a toe in, they go crazy on you, or or you sit on someone's car and they get bananas, you know.
Yeah,
So
I suppose. I think people get a little too bent out of shape, but again, I digress.
Sure. And anyway, so let's talk a little more about gameplay. And we asked Jeff this before, and now that you're more versed and everybody hates you now because you're the villain, do you mine? Can you mine?
yes, I could actually mine more now, being Razu, than dirt, and I mined in dirt. It's just that I'll say in 10 minutes I would get hit right away.
So would you complete your dailies if you're going for dailies during the day, or you'd have to watch your ship every time you mined?
No, I'd have to constantly monitor. I play this game almost. Well, I slowed down a little bit these past weeks, these past like 3 weeks, but I've played this game almost 24 hours, sometimes 24 hours with Chef, me and him on, just doing our thing. Double hit twins, like he says.
And how did that come about? How did that friendship with Chef come about? How were you guys able to play 24 hours in a row?
Um, well, first of all, I'm unemployed right now, so there you go. That's the 24 hours.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to be laughing, but I get it. You got more time on your hands.
Exactly, because I'm sure if I was working currently, I wouldn't be on as much. But it developed because, well, it started because, dirt. When I started with dirt, and I saw everybody how strong the ships they had, this, that, and the other. So I wanted to match that. I wanted to be up there and help them at their level to hit our enemies. So here you go. I grinded, and of course I paid a little bit also because I mean, let's be for real. If you're gonna move up and you're that interested, you're gonna drop a couple of dollars in the game, and I did. No shame on it. I'm sure a lot of us do it. And so I got to their levels, and then there was this thing with the PD power destroy, and it was like a race. So I said, you know what? I want to join that race, and boom. I didn't start out as the Joker. I was NY Bravest. I became the Joker actually, well, Harley Quinn, because Harley Quinn eventually joined Dirt. She's in MRFM right now, currently. So I said, you know what? I'll change my name, and because she likes to play role, so I said, freak it, the hell with it. I'll change my name, and you know what? It stood the Joker ever since.
And so how did that alliance form with Chef? Like, how did you guys end up becoming such good pals and doing your thing and wreaking havoc on the galaxy?
Well, the power. What happened was eventually I I got higher in level in Dirt, and I was very close to being the highest in our alliance in power Discord. There was only like I think two people. I think it was Colonel Hubbard and Juggernaut, Insane Juggernaut, who's not there anymore. And I eventually passed him. And but what happened was, for me, I felt like I was it felt like it got to the point where I did pass him, and I was actually the strongest in our alliance. But it felt like I was doing a lot more than they were, in the sense of I was always on G chat defending. I don't know if you guys ever monitor me, but I'm always dirt, dirt. I was always dirt, 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 no matter what. Even if we did wrong, I was there taking the bullet. Dirt, 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 this, dirt, that. No, this is how we do it, blah, blah, blah. And taking all the shit and all the criticism from everybody. And at one point I felt like, damn, I'm on G chat. I'm taking all these hits from all these big guys almost every minute of every day. And I'm like, I feel like I wasn't getting any help, So I left. And I actually tried row for like 3 months, and I couldn't do it. It drove me crazy. And by the way, I was still getting hit even when I was in row. So that's to show you I already had imprinted on people that the Joker's a jerk.
Right. So it was hard to shake the stigma.
Right, exactly. So yeah, I'm sorry. I jumped back into Dirt, and it was all good. The atmosphere was actually different. Dirt had fallen a little bit because something happened before the Tapia thing. Something happened, so it shook up Dirt a little bit. But I came back. A couple of other two people eventually came back. It was rebuilt, and it was strong again. And from there, when I came back, Chef was actually more involved in Dirt. Was saying more, was more interactive, and he was already involved with PD, Power Destroy. And from there we just took off, because it was like what I did in the beginning to be on top of Dirt. He envisioned that, and he was already doing it. So when he was taking off, I was already like, I don't really care that much anymore. And then of course we all know where he is now, number one in PD, and he's still at it. That the only difference between me and Chef is that he's gun ho, and he's doing his thing, where I sort of relaxed. That's our only difference. But during that time, we developed a friendship, and me and him became sort of the shield of Dirt, and we handled all the affairs. And at one point, we were actually managing Dirt, me and him together. So that's how we bonded and stuff. And then come to be that if I woke up at 12 in the afternoon and went to bed 4 in the morning, he was there also. So I wasn't fighting the battles alone. So that's how the friendship developed. I always had someone there to help me fight and stick up for Dirt, no matter what.
So tell us a nice, hilarious story that you guys got into while you were doing your thing.
We had a battle. Well, not really a battle. I guess we ticked off. I think we ticked off Crashman. and his crew.
Oh, from MRFM.
Yeah, from MRFM. And I guess they got together and they were like, you know what, we're gonna go get them and this and that. And I get it. But so I think they went after Chef first. So I went and I ported my base next to him, and they were just pounding his base, and they were pounding our base, my base also, and we were just defending it, and all their ships were just dying and boom, 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 blind and blowing up, and we were just laughing because this, the thing about me and Chef is that this is what we like. When he talks about the strategy and you're gonna go and send 1,000 ships and die. You understand? It's not helping you. It's helping us. It's helping us in the sense we're not getting any points or anything from the game, but it's helping us in the sense of enjoyment. Here you are attacking my base, ship after ship, and these are big ships, and they're just going. And it's just not one person. It's maybe 6 in that crew, and just to see them all blow up, and just the challenge of defending your base and hitting repair and this and that in your ships, and knowing you have the ability to do it. It was bliss for us, and then it just so happens that there was, I think, maybe one or 2 other alliances who followed, in the attack. Because I guess that night or that week, me and him were just being outrageous, So
Were you just going around just hitting everybody left and
right,
right?
right. Like what it was. I think they caught me or him off guard, and it really infuriated us. It was probably me because I'm quick. I'm really hot tempered. It don't take much, and I'm already rawr, like a grizzly bear. So yeah. So we just got together, and from there on we became the double hit twins. So we went around and we went to systems and started hitting together. Listen, I'm coming in at 3:00 at your 6 or blah blah blah, and he cleared the left side of the system, I cleared the right, or vice versa. And that we did that for a while. The only difference is he he kept going full steam, and he's still at it, full steam ahead. Where I sort of slowed down.
So what caused the split between Dirt and now that you're Ratsu?
The split was Bane stepped down because he had some RLs to take care of, which is real life, which is understandable, and so did at also so did Colonel. He sort of fell back because he had some real life business to attend to. So it was me and actually I think Colonel stepped back and then eventually I think left and started his own little alliance for a little bit. So it was me and Chef. And what happened was we that happened because Tapia was in Dirt, and he was actually a good guy, cool guy, and we strategized together and we fought and we this and we that, and it was, I don't know, maybe a month, 2 months, maybe even 3 months, and he just pulled the carpet from under our feet, and he became a Commodore, and he just pressed the kick button, kicked everyone out. Then came back with a STFC tag and said, I'm STFC forever. This is what I do. And I was like, what? So at the end of it, Dirt was only 7 people. So I'll be honest, that's the worst I ever felt in the game. I was like, wow, because you see, at that point, it wasn't even just a game. We developed a friendship and trust, So it was a real big, big betrayal. And that was it. So me and Chef, we built. First of all, I went on G because me, I go right away on G chat and I defended our honor, even with 7, and I still did what I had to do, even with 7 members, me and Chef. So it didn't matter. It didn't stop us because whether we're 100 or 7, we were going to play our game, and we did, and we eventually build Dirt back to 41 players with alliances and friends because as we started to build that, that new system came out with you could put neutral or friendly, and that's how we build Dirt back again.
So when you're talking about some of the alliances that you guys made, I know at one point, when I was in Wars, I know at one point Wells was trying to form some sort of semi-alliance with Dirt at some point. How did that come about? That's what I'm curious about, because I was never in the know, and I'm very interested to hear how did that come about.
Well, Wells is a cool guy, and we were talking, and he also knew. I guess he had relations with Colonel Hubbard,
Mm-hmm.
and I think at that time Colonel came. I think he was back with us. Dirt. He jumped back into Dirt, and Colonel Hubbard gave the green thumb. He was like, "Hey, these guys want to hive and this and that, and he's cool. I know him and this and that." And I was like, "Shit, hell, why not? Because it's, we're Dirt, so we don't have a place. So if somebody says, "Hey, you want to hive with us?" It gives us a little more breathing room. You
Right.
know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
we're constantly being hunted. So and we help them defend. So what better than that? So at the end we still do what we love, which is you come in and we try to fight and defend.
Now, with that being said, has there ever been? I know you mentioned that you tried to go somewhat ROE for a little while, but kind of people definitely didn't make it easy for you. Have you ever, at some point, thought to yourself, geez, oh Pete, I can't hardly move anywhere without somebody trying to blow me up? Has that ever kind of maybe shifted your thinking a little bit, made you falter in kind of the way that you committed to not doing ROE, or did that play a hand in why you tried ROE for a little while?
I tried ROE because I felt like I wasn't getting enough love from Dirt. Maybe I got too personal. But you know what? I don't really think it was. I don't really think it was that. I think it was I got a little too high, a little too strong. And remember, at that time, I was fucking hitting everybody. I didn't care. I was actually a little nasty on GChat. It's like I didn't care. I was just gonna be ruthless.
Right.
So I guess that, in a sense, I guess I did it to my own self because that put the heat more on me than I guess any of the other guys in Dirt, because I was the asshole to hit or to bother, I guess. So sort of speaking to you guys now sort of makes sense. It puts it puts it all into perspective, actually speaking about it.
So, with that being said, the one thing, and I want to get into it a little bit later, concerning different ways, because we've actually touched on it several times. You talk about wanting to be the villain, and it's just how you want to play. For people that are listening, and we're going to get into it more later, your play style really has nothing to do with who you are as a person, correct?
Yeah, that's true. I'm a good guy. I'm a sweetheart. I'm a big guy, big teddy bear.
So that's just what I wanted to get into, some of that, and just understanding that people should be able to play the game the way that they want to play it. Tech, I'll go ahead and hand it over to you because I know we're going to get into more of that toward the end, where we get a little bit more personal and things like that. And then once I start that, we'll cover that.
I was kind of more interested about how Rasu came about, right? Because was it Red Alert Shields Up? How did that come about? Because you were, speaking to you, you're very pro Dirt, right? Very pro camaraderie and the way you built that alliance. So what happened to where you started your own? Was it the Tapia thing?
No, I became Razu because Dirt wasn't when me and Chef put Dirt to the peak that it got to after Tapia did what he did. We didn't. First of all, we were struggling. We were like 7 for a while, And then everybody started to fall back in line and come in. And what really helped actually was that me and Chef said, you know what, we're gonna run it this way instead of that way. And that helped. That actually bring people in. And all of a sudden, Scoplay says, hey, we have this new system for you where you can have where it won't be so confusing with friends and allies and this and that. And we use that tool, thank you, Scoplay, in helping us, make decisions on what we want to do as far as who we want to hit now, who we want, as enemies, or leave them alone, leave them neutral, or these guys are cool, put them friendly. And so it helped us because it gave us more breathing room to mine. It gave us more breathing room to hit the people we wanted to hit. And then with the whole hive thing, it helped. I know it all in return. It helped a lot of people that we were friendly with when the hive. It helped them because we weren't on their asses anymore, bothering them, harassing them. So it was a win-win.
Why leave dirt and start Rasu?
Okay, that happened because after a while, me and Chef started to have differences of opinions. Like I said before, he's gun ho, and hey, I like that. I really do. He's one way. This is the way I'm gonna do it. This is the way I'm gonna play, and he's gonna do it, and he does. And at one point, I was like that, but what happened was, I didn't want to be an asshole in G chat. A lot of people came up to me in PM, hey, how you doing, this and that, and I realized, you know what, I gotta stop being such an asshole, stop such a prick. And like if you Tech or Kirk, you come up to me and you PM me and say, hey, how's it going? And this and that, or hey, that was a good hit. You caught me off guard. Boom. So it was like squirrel. So I got off the asshole attention. I was like, and I answered it nicely. I know that was a good one, and this and that. And then we start talking. So boom, now new relationships start to develop. And I realized, you know what? People are just trying to play their game. There's no need to be, overbearing on people. So annoying, that they really hate you. Because the hate mail I was getting was outrageous. I mean, I think, honestly, if they knew where I live, some of these people, I'd probably be dead. So, my gameplay switched up. And his was just hit, 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 no matter what, like it is now. And also decision making. There was, he was doing the decisions, doing this and that, and we agreed. But then there was some things I didn't really agree on, or he didn't agree on. He was more, I want it this way, like I wanted gun ho, and I was more like, nah, let's just lay back. Let's find a way of communication. We don't need to have, the top 10 alliances on our asses. This, it's too much, and we need our guys to grow a little bit so they can help me and you. Because remember, it's only basically just me and him. The guys do what they can, but it's really just me and him fighting everyone else. But he
Right.
really didn't care. That doesn't bother him.
Your point was just more or less like, I'm not saying let's play by ROE, but maybe we should chill out so we can actually grow a little bit instead of just constantly being blown up everywhere we turn.
Yes. And I couldn't. They got to a point where in 5-10 minutes I was getting hit. So I couldn't mind. So I'm like, if I'm experiencing that, I know the guys are. That's why they're like level 17 for 4 months already, because they're not growing because they're getting hit.
So you formed Rasu basically in a way to kind of say, all right, let's chill out, do what we can. Our guys grow, get them to a certain level, or maybe to our level, and then at the end of the day, we'll like, all right, let's all rejoin up and start doing our own thing again. Is that kind of the mentality?
Yeah, but just like, let's just say my guys in 3 months, they all get to 30, 33, 35 like me. it's not to go and be like, okay, now we're gonna cause hell and be the assholes we were before. I don't want that, because I changed. And I told them that, and they understand that I don't make the decision by myself. I bring it out to the table. We all talk about it. Everybody spills out what they feel, and we make a decision together. So, I mean, I want them to grow, and I want them to enjoy the game just as much as somebody from row who wants to mine or follow the row rules and enjoy the game. So that, to me, that's got to be a balance, and I think it's working because um, there's, let's put it this way: there's almost everybody in server 34 is on neutral. The only ones that are friendly are the people that are in Hive. There's only a handful of red marks. Where when I was doing it, where we were all in dirt, everybody was almost red. So it's a big difference.
So, in other words, you still not ROE, but you are to a point where you will, where you're not going out for the purpose of messing with people. So you've kind of shifted gears away from let's go out and be the villain to we're still not going to play by ROE, but we're also not just going around just whopping everybody just for the hell of it.
Right. So we're doing, in other words, we're playing like Thanos from from the Marvels. We're only killing 50% of the population instead of 100.
That's a good analogy. I like that.
That's pretty good. I wasn't ready for that.
So, and it works, and I tell my guys, I say, you see, everybody's cool, we still do our thing, we still get a little bit of hate thing, but you know what, everybody respects our play more than they did when we was just being dirty, rotten scoundrels. You know what I mean? Straight out.
Right. I understand.
Was there any fun? I mean, besides you and Chef, I mean, it was fun for you getting blasted by everybody and getting all this. I would assume it was fun for you getting all this hate mail and trying to attack you, and you're moving up in the Power Destroy leaderboards. Was it fun, or what would you say is it more fun now, or is it more fun than when you're going around blowing everybody up?
It's it honestly, when I was in that state of mind in the beginning, when I was just doing it to everybody, it was fun. And I could still change up. I mean, if somebody and sometimes I do, sometimes somebody here really gets to me. I'm minding my business. I haven't hit anybody in like maybe a week or two. And some 24 level guy comes and hits my minor. And I'm like, why would you start? Like, your admiral is like 41. He can come and hit me anytime he wants, and he doesn't. But you're going to come and start some shit. So that's when, and I said, you know what? I had enough. So I bring my miners back, I take out my warships, and I just start going around and hit a couple of systems. Until someone PMs me and says, hey, what's going on, Joker? And I feel bad because they're being nice to me. But I understand what they're doing. They're like, hey, what's going on? Like, damn, man, who the fuck irritated you that you're coming out here to cause havoc? So I sort of talk to them and back down, and I just go back to mining or doing some dailies or whatever. In other words, I do it for only a little bit. I don't have to be a whole week, a whole 24 hours just being a total ass.
So the moral of the story is, don't piss you off, and if nobody pisses you off, you don't go around blowing up systems.
Right. Now, I know it's sort of like that's crazy because your guys hit. Yeah, but somebody's got to do it. I mean, it can't be all Chef. We got to have a little piece of the pie too.
Oh man, and with that, you're talking about the backlash. There's a lot of stuff going on right now, and there's so much anger in the world, and hate, and just bitterness, and just it just doesn't make any sense to me. How can you live your life like that? But we all play this game. People play video games to get away from whatever they're facing in life. It's an escape from reality. It's a way to kind of relax and immerse yourself in this other environment. You don't have to deal with real life for a while. Yet these people still somehow manage to get so bent out of round about their digital ships.
Yeah.
And they talk about honor and things of this nature like it's real life. And
You would think they're real Cleons.
I mean, these people are like, I defend my people to the death. And I was like, is this World War III? Like, what just happened right now? Why are you so anxious about this digital playground? Why are you getting so worked up? So with that being said, I mean, how much of this stuff do these people send you when you blow up their ships? And you just, I mean, like, I imagine it's almost got to be comical about how crazy and violent they start saying these different things over a game.
Yes, it's. I've had some real doozies. In the past couple of months, it's reduced because my gameplay is different, especially now that I created Razu. But in the beginning, it was wow. Like I said, I mean, I think some of these people, if they knew where I lived or if they knew me, they'd physically hurt me. It was really bad.
And we just have to step back and think about it. If you're listening to this and you're the type of person who starts cursing someone out because they blow up your digital ship, and I don't mean this in a negative way. I don't mean this to make fun of you, but there's help out there. There really is. I'm not making a joke about this. I mean, it is funny that I say that, but I'm being serious. If that's getting your blood pressure up so much over
Imagine
a
real
game,
life.
I mean, the thing is that I can only imagine you have a couple of issues. Maybe you have what they would refer to like the little man syndrome, where you kind of maybe out of shape or a small person and you're afraid in real life to step to anybody who crosses you. So you try to be a bully on the game or whatever the case may be. Try to figure that out, because if you're having those problems here over a game, then you really should probably take a step back and look at yourself and figure out what's really going on in your head. We're here to have fun. Joker has blown up my ships. I don't know how many times he's hit my base. I've hit his ships. I've chased his Saladin around trying to get it. Damn thing's too fast. I couldn't catch it, and but we're still able to sit here and talk. So I just want to take this brief moment while we're on the subject, figure out what's going on with yourself. It's a game, people. Moving into my next point, which is the thing about, you kind of touched on it with Chef, not you guys kind of had I hate to say falling out, but kind of what it is, where you guys are not really on the same page now. Do you guys still talk at all?
No. He I mean, I don't know. I guess he feels a little. I don't know how he feels. I guess he feels more hurt, or I guess he feels betrayed, or so. I don't know what he's really feeling. We haven't talked. Would I talk to him? Absolutely. Am I mad at him? Absolutely not. To me, he's my brother, and if he needs my help, I'm there. The guys are there for him. I know that for a fact. And I would hope that if I needed his help, he'd come through. But that's everybody. Has their own cross to carry, like I like to say. So we'll see. You never know. Time heals everything.
What and this is a question that I asked Chef, and it's a question that I really want to ask you. In this game, where everybody has come up with these, I mean, I say made up rules. It's exactly what they are. The game mechanics allows me to blow up your warship anytime I want, or your mining ship, but we've come up with rules that restrict that, and that's what we're all going to play. In the game of this gentleman's game that we're playing here, so to speak, why are you Why are people like you necessary? And why are you especially necessary to keep the game fun?
Well, I I that the rule thing, I don't believe in. I mean, to me, they're rules to help the people that have already accomplished most of the game stay on top. And then even role play for me, even role players that are like I'm level 15 but I choose role. You know, even though you may be more freer to mine and this and that, I just think it still holds you down. You may be more freer to mine than a non-role person like me, but it still holds you down because you got these rules saying, well, I'm going to hit you if you're like this, or I'm going to hit you if you're zero, or I'm going to hit you if you're OPL, or I'm going to raid your base. So here you are, you're following this row, right? The Holy Grail. But then the big whale comes and takes all your resources from your base after you mine the whole fucking week. You tell me how that's fair. You know?
So
So
why
you might
so why are you in what you do? Why are you necessary? For example, I've said it before. If all we did was everything was nice and polite and everybody held hands and we kumbaya, to me the game would be a little bit boring. You know, it's kind of it's exciting to log on and says your miner's been destroyed, and you're like, you look at the timer, you're like, man, I know I had another hour on that node, and you look and man, it was somebody from dirt or somebody got me and they cleared the system, and now I got to scramble to try to get my node back. Why is that necessary to keep the game interesting, to keep it progressing?
You know why it's necessary? Because like you just said, you come back, you check your phone. Oh man, I got hit. And what does it do after you say that? After you see that skull that's red that says you were destroyed, it boils your blood. It boils everybody's blood. You know, it gets you going. It gets you. You know what? I'm gonna turn on. It gets you thinking. I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna do that, or I'm gonna get some guys together and we're gonna do this. And what do? You start to interact. You start to enjoy the game back. You instead of just pulling out a miner and going to farm some resources, which I did for 3 months, and it drove me crazy. I couldn't do it, and I tried. I can't do it. I gotta hit something.
Yeah, I've gotten, especially at the point now where it takes so long to, unless you're just spending hundreds of dollars or thousands of dollars a month, it takes so long to progress with your ships and things like that. That at this point, I've started adopting my favorite thing to do is to load up my biggest warships, and then I go into systems and I just start popping bases, and just to see what happens. Maybe some ships will come out. Maybe I'll get some PvP out of it, and they'll defend. You know,
Yeah.
just to try to see what I can shake up, just to shake things up. I don't really want to raid you. I just kind of want to have fun. So bring out your ships. Let's see what happens. I want to test some crew. And then, like you say, that causes interactions because then people PM you and they're like, yo, what the hell? And you're like, man, I'm just testing crew. And they're like, oh, yeah, how did you do that setup? What level is your Yuki? And, you know, and it promotes more camaraderie. It promotes more
Yep.
interaction.
Yep. And it helps. You know what? It makes people want to build. And you know what? Honestly, you know who it really helps? It helps Skull Play because now you piss me off. It does because now you pissed me off to the level where I'm gonna put 100 or 200 or 300 into this ship or to this base, so I can get you back. So at the end, it really benefits them.
Right. It does, but it also provides that PvP aspect, and you heard me talk about it on our ROE podcast on that
Yeah.
episode, where people really at heart people crave PvP. They want to test their ships. They want to see what they can destroy. You know, because this is, I mean, it's a big aspect of the game. So with the ROE constricting everybody's PvP, I think people are seeking it out and they're looking for excuses. And like I just said myself, going around and popping bases. I want you to get on your AC and ask for your bigger guys to show up. I want to see what my ships can do. This is the whole purpose I'm doing it. I don't care about your titanium. I don't care about your parts steel. I don't really raid anymore. I want to see what can happen.
Yeah, I had guys PM me and be like, "Hey, can I attack your base? I want to see my stats or this or that. Or can you pull out this type of ship so I could match it with yours?" And I'm like, You know, anybody like, the first thing I think of is, the first thing I think of, should I allow him to adjust his ships and his crews so that he can match mine and beat me? Because then that's making me under. But you know what? I really don't care, and I do it anyway. Because essentially that's what they're doing. They're adjusting their ships so they can kick your ass at the end. So it doesn't bother me.
Yeah, and so, and to me, I mean, I've had people that have requested similar things. I shredded through a guy's salad the other day, and he was like, dude, my salad was, much more powerful than your it was much more powerful than your barrel, because it was like 1.4, 1.5 million, and my barrel was only 1.3. And he was like, what the heck? And I was like, man, you just got to look at the crew, because I just decimated him. And so he said, well, hey man, can we try again? I want to try this different crew. And so he tried a few different crews. He kept losing. And then he finally got a crew where he was able to beat me. And so he was able to learn. I was able to learn. So, if I'm going to attack this ship and I scan and I see that particular crew, I know, well, I'm going to get blown up, because I know I'm not going to be able to defeat that. And again, now I have a relationship with somebody. Now I've been able to talk to somebody, and it's a positive experience, rather than just getting on there and going, hey, F you, you blew up my ship, you POS, and all this stupid stuff. And it's just anger and the blood boiling and all that stuff. It just gets old.
Yeah. In the beginning, in a couple of months ago, I was like, one of my ships, I think it was the Mayflower. It was over 500,000, let's say, and I had my officers there, and I think it was Homicidal Maniac. I saw him, and I went to hit him, but his ship was lower. So I'm like, oh, I got this. This is an easy kill. And when I went and I attacked him, he beat my ass, and I was like, what? So I repaired it, and I went back with another ship stronger than his, and he got me again. I'm like, So I PM'd him, and we were talking, and even though he was a little lower in strength in his ship, it was his officers that made the difference, and I didn't realize that. So the way he had his setup, well, he was able to take 2 of my ships down. I was like, oh, and then I was talking with Chef, and Chef's like, yeah, you dummy, blah, 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 blah. Because Chef is into that. So Chef gave me a whole 101 lesson, so I had to stay there and listen to his lesson. And then I started monitoring my officers and realizing, okay, even though your ship is headstrong, you got to set your officers right, or you can still lose a battle. So
right.
I learned the hard way on that one.
Yeah, and that will happen. Tech, do you have anything else?
Yeah, let's move into the ROE corner part of our podcast, because I think that's going to be a popular segment.
Okay.
Joker, do you
Yes.
know what the rules of engagement for Server 34 are?
Well, I was listening. Not really. And I'll be honest with you. The reason why is because I really don't care. I understand some of them, and I heard I was listening to your podcast, and I agree with a lot of them, though. I do, with the OPLs and this and that, and there's some that's like, I don't go for, like with the minor thing.
Would you like for me to read you the rules of engagement, and you can
Yeah,
you can
fine.
tell me what you think of them?
All right, sounds good.
And by the way, thank you for listening to the previous podcast on the rules of engagement. Let me just read them to you real quick. All right. So, starting assumption is that everything that Scopely allows through game mechanics is allowed in the game. All survey ships are protected on mining nodes and may not be destroyed. Survey ships that are over the protected limit or on a 0 node are not protected except in Borg space. A 1-minute warning is required after the node is 0 before clearing a survey ship. Specialty miners are not protected on their specialty nodes. The Botany Bay has only protection on Beta. The Devore has only protection on Latinum. Borg space is a PvP free zone. All ships are protected in Borg space with the exception of if you're on a 0 node. If you're given warning, you can get cleared off a 0 node. Warships are protected under ROE when an alliance is participating in an armada, and protection is not given to that armada if there is a active base raid in the same system by the same alliance. So those are the rules of engagement. So, Joker, since you said you don't know or don't care about them, what do you think about what I just read to you?
As far look, if you're friendly, it's because you're in the hive with us. I won't personally. My crew won't even hit you guys, even OPL or zero node. Well, at least I won't. But it's optional for some. The reason why I don't really like to follow that is because then we're following row, and I don't really want to follow. I just think it's dumb. I don't like it.
Why do you think it's dumb? I know you've mentioned before that your opinion is that kind of it helps the big guys who've accomplished stuff.
Yeah.
Is there anything more to that? Any more depth?
Because I feel like, if you're mining, okay, you're mining this and that, but you know, like Chef had said, there's warships there for a purpose. Let's fight a little bit. Let's especially when you get to a high. Listen, there's nothing better than to see the big guys fighting one another. It's like like I was telling somebody, it's like a heavyweight match. These big ships just clashing. When I see that, I I right away think of this is what Star Trek to me is all about. You know, the whole aspect of going out there for 5 years in a mission. You know what I'm saying? And it's not all going to be peace. You know, and to me, I guess I like the battle scenes more. To me, it's more interesting that there's more fight in the game than just sleeping it off and letting your miner just do its thing.
So, do you think that ROE limits your ability to make a decision on how you want to play the game?
Yes, it does, because you constantly have PMs. Hey, you shouldn't do this. There's some people that that I know because I've seen them on different alliances, and I've hit them, and they come on and they're like, "Hey, why did you do that for?" So I tell them, you don't even know why I hit you. I mean, you're just, in other words, they're playing to play, but they don't even know their own rule guidelines. You know what I mean? So they're shocked. They're like, why? Even if it's OPL. And I said, you know what? And I tell them, I'm non-row, and I still hit you OPL, and you don't even know why.
So, like, even by your own rules, it was a legit hit.
Exactly. And they're angry. And they're angry. So it doesn't work for everybody. That's just proof positive that it doesn't.
So people still get upset, even if they are hit within the rules.
Yes. As far as Borg space, I don't hit in Borg space, and my team doesn't either. And the reason why is because it's true, and I think it was Kirk who was mentioning it yesterday
Yeah.
in the cast. You get those little warp cells that you got to grind for, and then it's sort of a waste, and it's annoying because then you really can't accomplish something. And I get Chef's strategy. Well, you want to accomplish it before the other guy, but that is more to me. That's more like a universal problem. So in other words, it affects everybody. So that's something that everybody could agree on, just to leave alone.
Okay.
So I don't at Swarm. I don't hit. I don't know if my guys do or not. I know Chef does, but I don't hit. I usually hit if somebody hits me, and that's usually that guy. Like I said before, your admiral's like a 45 or 41. I'm mining next to him. He's leaving me alone, but here's got this 24 that comes and hits me. Like, I don't get it. It makes no sense.
So if I were to give you a pen and say, Joker, give me your version of ROE, what would it be?
Wow. Okay. You know what? That's a good. I had so many good ideas. I wish I could. I should have written them down for this. Um, Minors shouldn't get penalized under row. If you're gonna protect two, you should protect them all. You know, and like Kurt was saying, if I don't have a particular minor for this particular node, I'm gonna use another one. You should be able to, because I know I would do it. You know, so that's a universal thing. Also, that's everybody's logic. If you don't have that ship, you're gonna go and you're gonna use what you got. So why should you be penalized for that? You know,
What
um,
about armadas?
armadas?
Should they be protected?
No, and I'm gonna tell you why. An armada is an alliance event. So if you're my enemy alliance, why would I want you to win? And vice versa. You're gonna see me. You're gonna get your guys together, and there you go. There goes your PvP. You understand? And the game's designed for that. How are you gonna stop that? You're not making it fun. Okay, we did it. Yeah, you do it, you accomplish something, but then that's it. But I'm gonna play the game to the fullest, which means I'm gonna stop you, and we're gonna fight. I'm gonna knock those guys out.
So would you say that attacking someone's armada puts more of a damper on their progress than just dry hitting a warship or a miner?
Yeah, because I believe you get more out of an armada, who out of the 5 or the 4 or the 3 or whatever's hitting. I think you get more goodies from an armada win than you would from just one guy hitting a miner. Because remember, sometimes you can hit the miner and the guy could lose what he's mining, or sometimes he doesn't. Most times he gets away with it anyway. So all you really do is kill a miner and get a little bit of points, and he still gets his resources. But if you stop him from the armada, you stop him from getting better goodies at the end of the victory of armada.
There's a burning question that I've been wanting to ask, trying to wait for an appropriate time, and now's as good a time as any. There's obviously a lot of people that brag in GC about their power destroyed, but then you look at them, and the majority of their power destroyed comes from blowing up little miners. Do you think that is that bragging rights? You say, look at my PvP ratio. Look at my high PvP ratio, and then the only thing they're fighting, envoys and horizons. Do you think
Yeah.
that justifies being able to brag about your PvP ratio because you're not going toe to toe with a warship? Let's face it, miners aren't exactly bristling with cannons here. So, do you think it's appropriate that they brag about their power destroyed or their PvP ratio when in reality all they're really doing is just blowing up a bunch of essentially defenseless miners?
No, I don't think you should brag. Because it's cutting corners. You know, yeah, you're getting up there, but you're cutting corners. I mean, you brag when it's you're up there because it's warships to warships. It's like one guy hitting the other. It's like you get more respect from an honest fight than a dirty fight. You know, like me and you fought. We shot the hands, but I still even though you kicked my ass, I respect you. You know what? All right, I had enough. We got it out of ourselves, but you know what? You hit me, I fall on the floor, and then you're stomping me out. That's just dirty. You know what I mean? And you didn't even let me get up. So I even though you kicked my ass, I don't have that respect for you because you did it in a dirty way. That's how I see that. That's how I see
Right.
that.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Tech, do you have anything else before I make my final my final question.
Yeah. So, Joker, any other suggestions you have for Are We the way you'd like to see it? Like, how would you code in starting fights? More PvP.
More, I think like I said, Armada should be not protected. If you know, if you don't manage your Armada to perfect timing and you get hit, then you get hit. I mean, even me, I've timed it to the perfect timing, and someone and also watching me, and it's come out at perfect timing, and I lost. Yeah, I get upset, but hey, I can't really say nothing because, be honest with you, even if I win or lose, the fact that we fought a little bit and whoever wins, I like that. I like that excitement, you know. And you stop me from doing something that I know that I'm gonna learn from and be better at, which we are. You know, we're pretty good in our armadas and what we do. Um,
All right. So if I can summarize, Joker's rules of PvP are leave miners alone and go fight.
yeah, I mean, if I mean, you see, you don't have to hit every miner because I know people have friends and this and that. So when you're clearing systems, people say, oh, "I'm clearing a system." Yeah, you clear most of it, but there's one or two you leave around because they're your friends or they're an ally or this and that. So it's not really hurting everybody. It's just hurting some for the time being. And the only time, to me, I think that it's a problem is when you're hitting that same system 20 times. I mean, let the guy mine already. You hit him 20 times. Let him go. That's like 100 more systems. Go after that. You know, that's got to be a little balance. And I think both sides could enjoy the game and both sides could respect each other's hustle. That's how I see it.
Well said. Kirk, final thoughts?
The final question that I have is, given that so many people get so into their feelings about the game, about the way that you play, and you don't play by these rules that we've made up to, make the game easier for everyone, and that's fine. If you want to play by those rules, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too. I think everybody should be able to play their game. But that being said, what is something or some things that you would like to tell people that are listening that may have this misconception that you're just some asshole? What do you want to tell them as far as something about you that may kind of alter the way that they think about you? People who have never talked to you, anything like that. What is something you want to say to those people?
That it's just a game, and I'm pretty sure there's a few people in your alliances that have spoken to me and can vouch for me and say, no, yeah, that's just his game style, but he's really a nice guy. Reach out, PM, talk to him. We'll talk about anything. You know what I'm saying? Like there's been people here that have PM'd me some real life stuff, and you know what? I give them some real life advice. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a game, and we, at the end of all that, you reach out to somebody, and they're being 100% with you as far as, hey, I'm going through something, like and that. If somebody can feel that comfortable in talking to you about it, you should be 100% with them and help them out. You know what I mean? And and coming back to the question, if people talk to other people and they'll be like, hey, you know what, the Joker is cool. He's just acting. He's just playing a role for the game. It's really not that bad, and he is a good guy. You should reach out and say hello. That's how I feel about that.
Excellent. Well, thanks, Joker, for being here. Hope you stop. Did you have fun today?
Yes, I did. It was awesome.
Good. You're welcome to stop by anytime, man. Appreciate it.
Yep. I wanna give a shout out to all the female players. They're all cool. I respect them all. Love you all. Peace to everybody. And I'm sorry if I hate your miners, but it's Raza's way.
That's right. Leave your miners out for both Chef and Joker. On that note, this has been Tech Talk with Tech and Kirk. I'm TechMan16.
And I'm Strange Kirk.
We'll see you guys next time.
Peace.